All right. My predictions went 13 and 3. I should be a betting man. Make some money off this. Anyway, let's talk sports. I don't know what in the world happened to Detroit, but they got mopped. I'm glad I picked against them. They look ill prepared. I don't know if it was a preseason, but they did lose both of their coordinators or it was talent, but they basically didn't show up at all. Chicago, they looked revamped in the first half, and whatever reason decided to let Minnesota go crazy. Uh, it was just weird. How does a team go from looking like a promising season and at halftime, just like that's the end of the game? And they came out so flat in the fourth quarter, it was embarrassing to watch Minnesota just walk down the field offensively. And yes, they had Jefferson, but they had Jefferson in the first half. They were doing the, double teaming him, doing what they want to do, and then they let him. Some of the plays, it was like, it's Jefferson making great plays, but still, you could tell that they changed their defense, enough to keep him open enough to, change the trajectory of that game. And like the quarterback looked like freaking Tom Brady in his prime. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, what are we doing here? Um, the Bills Ravens game, I'll talk about that in a separate video, but I picked the Ravens to win that game, and obviously I was right, to the last freaking minute. The Ravens always have one issue, and it's either a turnover, a drop, a fumble, a sack. It's always one thing with the Ravens. But I'll talk about it in a separate video. Well, I'll talk about it in this video real quick. Some losses will literally ruin your season. You look at the Hail Mary from last season with the Bears and Washington. Washington won that game on a Hail Mary. The guy was celebrating during the play, and obviously we know what happened after that. After that, the Bears went on a 9-game losing streak. Some losses starts to stir the pot within the locker room. Oh, what do we have to do? We played offensively, played well. We got enough defensive stops. We forced them into 3-and-outs and punts and threes instead of sevens, and then we fumble, or then an interception, or then a drop. So it's like, what's the point of continuing this trajectory when we continue to lose these games, big games against promising teams with just one play? And I think the Ravens are in a tough position because, yes, to me, they're the better team in the AFC. But it's always one thing with them: an interception, a drop, a fumble. The numbers that Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry put up were historic numbers. The Bills defense had no response. But at the end of the game, it took 3 different stops. The Bills stopped them 3 times. The 4th and 3 when they forced them to punt, and obviously the turnover and the possession before that. So the Bills defense did enough, but still, the Ravens have to look within and say, where do we go? How do we take another step if it's always something offensively, seemingly, whether drops or interception or whatever? You can't improve the defense. The defense is what it is. You're not going to get Micah Parsons, Bosa. You're not gonna get those guys right now. So you have to figure out offensively how we help the defense. The defense did enough in the first half. You look at that game; they were up 40-15. The kicker missed the extra point, but at the end of the day, they should have won that game. It's no excuse, no excuse. And we'll see if they bounce back next week. But one loss, especially early in the season, you look at what the Bears did last year. That Hail Mary tore that team up. Literally 9 straight losses. Now they had a couple of close games. At the end of the day, that killed their season because they had that game won. Had the game won. Cats clowning around during the play, not knowing the play. The coordinator saying he didn't know what's going on, and it's just foolishness. One loss can change your season. Kansas City looks like, I think they're gonna go 0-2 because they play Philly next week or this week. I think they're gonna start off slow. They look good offensively, but the same things are there. The Bills defense is not good. Chiefs defense is not good. Ravens defense is not good. So the 3 big juggernauts in the AFC have glaring issues defensively. We're gonna see what offense is able to save essentially the defense. It's really not easy to outscore a bad defense. You're going to have some things on defense, whether it's turnovers, sacks, something you can lay your head on. We may not be able to stop the run, may not be able to stop the pass, but we can get enough sacks. We can get enough turnovers to level the playing field. I think the Chargers are probably the better team, but you can't trust the Chargers. They looked great the other day, and then in 5 weeks you would look how sorry they are. So we'll see. That's the AFC side of the ball. The NFC side of the ball, I mean, I don't understand what the Giants are doing. Let me just say this. 2 things with the Giants and the Browns. I don't understand how you know a quarterback is not going to lead you to the playoffs and you put him out there week 1. The Giants know Russell Wilson is washed up. He's not able to successfully have enough plays to score 20 points, 15 points, whatever the spread is that day. And it's going to frustrate your wide receivers. Why put your team in that position in week 1 when you have Jameis Winston, you have a rookie on in the quarterback queue? I would rather figure out a rookie figuring it out or a backup figuring it out than putting a veteran that we know is not going nowhere. Why is Joey Flacco playing for the Browns? It's like these organizations are spitting in our face. I'm not a fan of the Browns or the Giants. I'm a fan of NFL. So if I know you don't care and you're putting Joey Flacco out there, Russell Wilson out there, you're putting guys who we all know, we can all concede, are not going to win any games that would equal enough to go to the playoffs. It's disrespectful. And for what? To prove a point with, I don't want to start a rookie, or I don't want to start this rookie. I don't want to start this backup who makes less than the starter. I get all that. But I'd rather bench a guy that's making $10 million and start a guy that's making $2 million because I have 50 other guys I have to account for. You have to think, I'm sacrificing the livelihood and the future of 50 guys to appease one. I'm confused. Teams that won that don't look as good as they did last year. Commanders have some struggles. Bo Nix and Denver definitely have some struggles. I think, well, I don't know if this is attributed to preseason or what, but slow starts are okay, but eventually you have to figure this out. You can't start 0-1, 0-2, or even 1-2 because you can't figure out offensive, defensive. You can't figure out football on the fly. It's only 17 games. So many games you got. So the Bengals had a slow start, barely winning. The Rams look good eventually. Minnesota looked good eventually, but you really want to start off a game figuring it out in the second quarter. You can't always rely on figuring it out to the fourth quarter. The game can clearly be over. So, NFL recap. I did good, 13-3, but we got a long season, so we'll see. Peace.